Hey everybody, Patty Ann here. Welcome. Hey, do you like bling as much as I do? Today is going to be all about the bling. So follow me to my desk and let me show you first of all the free file that we're going to get. Okay, here we are at the Rhinestone World, and isn't this adorable? With the little high heels and the word love on a t-shirt, I think this would be so cute. So let's go over to Silhouette Business Edition and see how to get this started. Okay, here we are in Silhouette. And notice it comes in and all three parts are grouped together. The first thing that I will probably do is right click and say ungroup. And after I've ungrouped it, I need to click off, and then I can click back on, and I'm going to grab this area right over here because this just is the example and I don't need that. I'll remember that the green is the outside and the purple is the inside. So I'm just going to hit delete on my keyboard to get rid of that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one, yellow box, and all of the rhinestones, and I'm going to right click and say group again so that I can move it over and it stays together. This one here, I'm going to go like this over all of it, select it all, right click and group. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do is I don't like how this comes in, changes up my mat. So I'm going to come up here to the page setup, page panel, and I'm going to change the page size to automatic Cameo, which is basically the same size as our Cricuts. So I'm going to show you what's going to happen now if we go over to send this to make it. So just like that is the way I like it to be. It just has to be simple. So I'm going to cut this, and then after I cut this one, and oh, I'm going to change this. They do have one called Rhinestone Template Material, so you could use that. And after I get done cutting this one, then I would come over and cut this one as well. And then I'd show you how to use the hinge method. So this works perfectly in Silhouette for my Cameo. The problem is, let's go back to design. Let's select both of these and go to File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive. I'll name them, oh, it's already called TRW Love Heels. So I'm going to change that to SVG because we need that for our Cricut machines. And one thing I do want to do is, I'm going to say cancel that for a second. I just want to know the size of one of these. So it's 8.147. So again, I'm going to grab both of these. File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, and I'm going to name it TRW Love Heels 8.147. I hope that's what it was. And change it to SVG and say save. Okay, so let's go to Cricut Design Space now. Here we are in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to upload an image, browse. There they are, 8.147. I want to show you something. Watch how long it takes for this to come in. It says, wow, that's a large image. I can save it. There it is. Insert it. It's trying to come in. It says it's a really large image because every one of those little rhinestone circles is an object. So every one of those is going to come in on the layers panel on the right over there. Okay, for some reason it didn't work. Let me try it one more time. Insert. Okay, you may have experienced the same thing. It looks like it's going to crash Cricut again, so I'm going to show you a trick. Let's go back to Silhouette, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this and ungroup this, ungroup, right click and ungroup, and notice there are boxes around every single one of these rhinestones, everything's selected. I'm going to come over here to the Modify panel right here, open it, and I'm going to say Subtract. And what that's going to do is, instead of each one of these little dots being an individual shape on top of this yellow sheet, it's going to punch those right out of there, subtract them right out. And that's what we want, because we want holes into which we'll brush the rhinestones. So I hit Subtract. And there we go. All of those were subtracted out. See how you can see through it now? And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Bring it over. I'm going to right click on it, ungroup. Once everything's selected, I'll come to the Modify panel if it isn't still open and click on Subtract. Okay, so now I'm just going to put these both on the mat again. I'm going to go to File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, and the TRW Love Heals 8.147, and I've got to change it to an SVG, and it's going to say it already exists. Do I want to overwrite it? And I will. I'll replace it. So now let's come back over to Cricut Design Space. Let's upload this one. Upload an image, browse. Here's the newer one, open. Looks kind of weird because they're on top of each other. Save. Here it is. Insert. Okay, it came in perfectly. They're grouped together. I could ungroup them so you could see. And now I can move these around all kind of ways. And look, over here, rather than it being a bazillion little dots or rhinestones, it's just two pieces, just two layers. So what I do need to do now is I need to go ahead and center these, or align them together, align center. And then I need to change the size of both of them. Notice they're both selected. 8.147, I believe it was, 0.147. Hit enter. And look how quickly that changed the size of those. And again, I can look at both. So this is perfect, just like this. So now all I have to do is go to Make It. And there's that one to be made. And then the other color will be this one. And it's also going to cut out the square around it. So I'm going to go cut these out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have some things to show you down here. Usually when I'm doing designs that are not very intricate, I can use the flock that we buy generally, and it works perfectly. If it's not this detailed, if you can see how close these rhinestones are together here. And the machine didn't have any issue cutting it, but this stuff is so much more flimsy than the Magic Flock sold by TRW that it kind of comes apart like this. So even the E, if you look down here, I could maybe get it to work, but oh my goodness, it's such a pain in the neck. Look, even, you know, it's just messy. So with something this intricate, I don't recommend that you use regular flock. So what I would use instead is the flock that they sell from the Rhinestone World. It's called Magic Flock. It's just a lot tougher. And if you can see down here, right here where the E was messed up really badly on the other one, it turned out really perfectly here. So I would be able to use this easily on any garment or anything. So for this purpose, I would recommend getting the sticky flock, even though it's a little more expensive, and especially if it's going to be a template you'll want to use over and over again. So I'm not going to be able to finish this with the hinge method because I've got to go order some more of this stuff so I can finish this tutorial. So stay tuned. I'll be doing a part 2 in the next week or so. So thanks a lot for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful showing you how to make the rhinestone designs usable in Cricut Design Space. You just have to be wary of which material you use. If it's just something like the border of a heart or of a star or a couple of those and they're spaced well apart, the everyday regular flock works fine. But if it's something intricate like this, where these stones are really close together and almost touching, I wouldn't recommend the regular flock because, as you can see, even though it cut apart in places. So here the L looks fine, and if it were glued down, it would be okay. But look, it's so skinny right there that it came apart. On the E, the same thing. Look right there. But look over here. No problem whatsoever on the sticky flock. So we'll have to bite the bullet and buy the little bit more expensive stuff from the rhinestoneworld.com. So again, thanks for joining me. I'll come back for part 2 in a couple of days or maybe a week, depending on how quickly I get my sticky flock from the Rhinestone World. Bye-bye.